Hey everyone, I am Charlene Garcia, the Star Director Leader of Team Shiny Bits of Happiness, and I'm here today to provide you with a new designer training. If you're watching this, it means you're probably brand new, maybe in your first couple of days or your first week, or maybe you took a break and you came back and you just wanted a little refresher. But either way, welcome. We're so excited to have you, and we are so excited to help you get your business off to a good start. So I'm just going to walk through some things today, and I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. And if you do, I would encourage you to connect with your mentor on those questions. Your mentor should be providing you with a new designer training that can kind of go in partnership with this training as well. But if you're not getting the kind of support from your mentor that you feel like you should be, then be sure to check in your lounge, look at your upline star or upline director, and make sure you're asking for help and getting the help that you need. So hopefully this will be a great resource for you, but be sure that you're making those connections with your mentor as well. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have got a little presentation that I can share with you all to just walk you through some of the key points that will help you get your business off to a good start. So first of all, you made a great decision, and I'm sure you know that already. Keep is an amazing company, and we are going places big. Our CEO shared this with us at our last leadership meeting, and there's some really interesting facts in here I just wanted to include really quickly. Accessories are a $30 billion industry, and we only have less than 1% of that market today. Keep does, which to me says we have a huge opportunity. Another interesting thing, customers love Keep. 92% of our customers plan to shop again with us. That is a approval score that other retail companies would just die for, and we're pretty excited about it ourselves. 35% of customers are curious about becoming a designer, but only 75% have been asked. So as you're, getting your feet wet and starting to reach out to potential customers, be sure that you're not being fearful about sharing with them the opportunity to become a designer themselves. This statistic shows that we as designers are reaching out to our customers, but we aren't offering the opportunity to join the team. They haven't been asked. So make sure you're doing that. Keep is one of the world's fastest growing brands. We have a 2-year compound annual growth rate of 411%. We just exploded from the beginning, and the growth is still tremendous, and I know it's going to continue down the road as we continue to get bigger and bigger. The most common word people use when they describe Keep is unique. There's really nothing else out there like us, which sets us apart for sure. And if we were to be able to address our entire market, that $30 billion industry that we were talking about, each of us that are currently here would have to reach out to 17,000 customers. So if you're worried, oh, there's another designer in my own hometown, or, I know 2 other Keep designers, trust me, there's plenty of room for growth in this company, and you're here right at the right time. So what do we do first? I don't know about you, but my first step is always to set goals. I love to set a goal. I love to put it in writing, and I love to put it where I can see it. In Keep, you will often hear us talk about our why. Your mentor may have already asked you about this, and if she hasn't, then you should definitely think about your why. Why did you join Keep? What are you hoping to do? Are you hoping to make more money? Are you hoping to quit your job? Are you hoping to have some more flexibility or have some girl time? Or maybe you're hoping to pay for a family trip, or maybe you're just hoping to, I had someone recently tell me that she was hoping to replace her iPad that got broken. So whether your why is big or small, your why is really important. You should always stay focused on your why. And then start thinking about some other goals. What would you like to earn per month? I know it's a little difficult to figure that out right in the very beginning, but say it's $200 or say it's $500. Think about what you'd like to earn so that you have something to shoot for. And then your career level by Hoopla, and also by the end of the year is if you're interested in really making a business and building a team, then your mentor or upline star or director can help you set some really solid goals around developing what your hopeful career level would be. But I can tell you right now that it is absolutely doable as a brand new designer to promote to lead and then to associate designer in your Jumpstart within the first 60 days. It is so doable. It's not easy, you have to work at it, but it is absolutely doable. So setting that goal of associate designer by Hoopla or even in your Jumpstart is a great place to start. And then of course you can fill in when you achieve this, how will you feel and why. What I love most about Keep is that it is your business. This is you. You run this business how you want to. You can work when you want, you can work how you want, you can work where you want. It's your career level, your pay rank, your pace, and it all is in coordinates with your priorities. So the cool thing about Keep is whatever your success looks like, it's going to be different than mine, right? For me, success is, having balance with my family. Success is being able to help you achieve your goals. Success is contributing to my family's income. And so if I'm hitting those goals and I'm reaching those successes, I'm happy. So whatever your definition of success is, will in turn then make you happy. So make sure you know what that is and remember to stay focused on what makes you happy. If you remember anything from this training, remember this. I have mentored a lot of people and I've trained a lot of people, and I have learned a lot myself in this business in the last 2 years. I have learned that one of the key factors in success in this business is being happy, being positive, having a positive attitude and a positive outlook on everything that you do, and sharing things openly and genuinely. And if you do that, you will be successful. Another way to be successful is get started. And once you get started, don't quit. Just stick to it, be consistent, and we're going to give you some tools to do that. So before we do that, we're going to just tour the lounge really quickly. It's an awesome tool for you to, where there's tons of things that you can do in the lounge, and it can be really overwhelming at first. So as I click over here to show you the lounge, we're just going to walk through some of the key places. I'm going to do it fairly quickly just to show you around. So once you watch this training, then you can go back into the lounge and be like, oh yeah, okay, I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know that. So here on the main page, all your basics. Here's your website in case you ever need it or you forget it. Of course, your rank and your name. It's early in the month here, so you're not seeing anything in these numbers, but you would for your years. Might look a little bit different because you're in your jumpstart, most likely. I'll show you that in a minute, but some of these things around the outside are also really important to keep in mind. So the Getting Started guide is down here. That's a great tool for you to read right from the very beginning. I would suggest that be one of the first things that you do. Here is a link to all of our training calls. There is so much training available to you, not only provided by us on your own team, but also by home office. If I ever heard somebody complaining about the lack of training, it would only be because they're not utilizing it, because there is probably a training almost every single day of the week. So it's there for you. The product alert list is a great place for you to check pretty often, I would say, for sure, at least once a week. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so ignore that. So I would check that, especially before you go to an in-home design session too. This list will show you what is out of stock and what is almost out of stock, so you can know what not to show and sell to your customers. We've got lots of how-to videos, and then of course our catalog, or our design guide as we call it. Here it's listed as inspiration brochure is here. So you would just click this, then you can get a link to that design guide, and you can send the design guide link to people in case there's anybody that wants to actually flip through it digitally if you can't get them one in person. And then of course our compensation plan, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Another little known fact that's helpful to know, you don't have to delve into it now, but there's a little document, it's not little, a big document called our policies and procedures. This is the legalese, facts and rules about what you can and cannot do. This would be a great thing for you to scan through at some point, but I wouldn't say you have to do it right away. There's a lot of information in here and a lot of helpful information, but don't overwhelm yourself. Know that it's there in case you need it. And of course your mentor can always help you walk through it. Contact us is a great link too. That's how you connect to the Delight Center, and you can do that via email or via chat or via phone. I would suggest phone and chat are probably your best options. And then from there, you can see all the latest news. This is where the latest updates and things happen. So you want to check this daily for sure. And then if you click, you can either click the hub up here, or you can click see more news, and that's going to take you into our hub. That is really where all the information is centrally located. So the way I use the hub most often is either reading along here of new things that I may have missed, or I use the search function. So if I'm looking for something specific, like, how to earn glam, I would type that into the search function and find it that way. If you have a question, this is a great place to start. I would suggest you take the initiative to try to find the answer yourself first. And if you can't, then you can lean on your mentor, and she, I'm sure, would definitely help you to try to find the answer. So those are some of kind of the key places. And then we're going to go across the tabs and go through each of those real quickly so you can kind of see what each of those are for. The catalog is obviously a place where you can look at all of our items and find out more about them. Design sessions. This is probably one of the first tabs that you should use. If you haven't already, you're going to want to book your first design session. If you're a brand new designer, you should book your own design session first. We call this our launch session. I would suggest you do your launch session as an in-person design session at your home or a location that's easy for people to get to, so that people can come and see Keep for the first time and you can really introduce and launch your business. These are your close friends and family that you can share with. So don't be nervous about it, right? They're people that you should be comfortable with. So when you're ready to go ahead and book that design session, this is how I would suggest you do it. Click Book Design Session, and then you would click I am hosting. From there, you could select online or in-person. It doesn't really matter what you select here. This is just a way for Keep to kind of keep track of what we're doing. But I would, if it's a combination of both, then just pick one or the other, because sometimes we do them both online and in person. So I would say in person for your launch session, and then it should show up with all of your information. Now, this is where you put in your date and time. This is another thing where you don't necessarily have to put the date of your actual design session. I would say, because you're a brand new designer and you're in your jumpstart, you're going to be reaching out to people and sharing and selling Keep to a lot of people outside the actual date. So I would suggest you set your date for, we are allowed to book a design session up to 60 days out. So you can book a design session 2 months from now, and you can leave that design session open, and you can put orders, your own personal orders, on that design session anytime between now and the date of your design session. And then you have 2 weeks after that to do any follow-up before it officially closes. Keep in mind, once it is officially closed, it's nearly impossible to get any orders put on there. So pay attention to that close date carefully. It closed at midnight PST on that day, 2 weeks after, and then it's done. So make sure you pay attention to that, because you could probably ask any designer and they've all have some kind of horror story about how they missed an order and then they couldn't get it to their customer. So I would suggest that you set your first design session for 2 months from when you started. So let's say you started on January 31st, which many of you did. I would suggest you go ahead and put the date of your own personal design session for March 31st. So that gives you your full entire 60-day jump start to put orders and gather up as much as you can in both product credits and then your own commissions. So this is called a double dip session when it's booked in your own name. You're earning your 25% commission off of all your sales. And then on top of that, you're earning product credits just like a hostess would. So it's a great idea to utilize these the best that you can. And you can do up to 4 of these per year, which means you can do about 1 a quarter. And this would be your first quarter and handle all of our spring items. So book that. And once you hit create, I'll just show you what it does. Now it gives you all the information about your design session. It gives you a magic little link. This is key information right here. That's the link you'll share with everybody. If they click that link and shop through that link, then the order will be credited to your design session. And same goes for any other design sessions you booked. You always want people to shop through those design sessions. From there, then you can keep track of how many orders, who's ordered, what they've ordered. There aren't any in there. And this would show you all of your rewards and half-offs. And then, of course, here's the close date. Pay close attention to that. So it's 2 weeks after the date of the actual party. But remember, you can put orders onto this anytime starting today all the way up to that April 14th. And then you can click on the actions. This would be a place where you could start an order if you wanted to put it on here. That's one way to do it. You can edit and delete the design session as well. So that would be step number 1, is getting that first initial design session booked. And that is how you do it. From there, we look at the orders tab. I use this tab when I'm creating an order. If I'm not doing it through a design session, you just hit create order. Over here is how you would shop for yourself. In my case, this shows that I have $180 in product credit, and I have $377 in hostess rewards. That came from one of my own personal design sessions that I hosted, just like the one I just had you book. So I can shop with those like a hostess would. And then these are product credits that I've earned through hitting different goals. Over here is how you would create an order for your customer. Hit create order, and then you'd select which design session you want to put it on. Say I'm going to put it on Rebecca's, and then you would just fill in the information. Many times you're going to have to create the contact, but I have a huge contact list because I've been doing this for a while. So let's say it's somebody I already know. I put in her name, and it's Sarah. it brings up all of Sarah's information already, and now all I have to do is start entering the information about the items that she wants. So let's say she wants a double keeper, but I can't remember. I know it's a black one, but I can't remember what it's called. So if you just put in double, it pulls up every double that there is. If you put in double black, then it pulls up all the doubles that have black in it. So it'll take a little bit of time, but you'll quickly learn, the keywords to pull things up. If you're looking for a letter, you type in letters, and then you can go in and pick which letter you want. So you'll eventually get that figured out. And then of course the contacts list is here, and you can view all of your contacts. The really cool thing here that I wanted to show you is when you look into your contact, there's all their information. Of course, we can't quite yet export our contact list, although I've heard that that's coming, but you can use all their information. And also if they've created a wish list, it would be here. So that's a great way to help with your sales. And if somebody comes to you and says, I'm looking for a gift, they may have something created. This customer in particular hasn't created one yet, but I do have customers who have, and it's a really great tool. So I'm not going to get much into the reports here, because I don't think this is mostly for once you start building a team, except for the my business dash. So we're not going to get too deep into that because I want to keep this short, but this is probably one of my favorite tabs, and this is our design tool. If you haven't dug into this yet, I would suggest you do it. It's probably something I use every single day. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really need to walk you through it. It kind of walks you through it right here. But this is a tool that you will use very, very often to create designs for people and share it. This is how I reach out about Keep. I create custom designs for them, and then I share it with them. So once you create your design, you can download it, you can share it via Facebook. You can even take that design and turn it into an order automatically if someone decides that they want to order it. So this is someplace where I'd suggest you play around quite a bit and get very comfortable with it, because it's a tool you will use a lot. And so one more thing I'll show you, I'll walk you through a little bit what your dashboard probably looks like. Because you're a new designer, this is probably more what it looks like. This is one of my brand new designers who just signed up a few days ago. Kim, if you're watching, sorry, I'm using you as an example here, but this is gonna be the place where you go to find out where you are, how you're doing on your goals, how close you are, and I'm gonna walk you through that real quick. So this first box is for Glam. We'll talk a little bit about Glam just briefly at the end, but this would be where you would look to see if you've achieved the different levels of our Glam incentive trip. This is probably going to be the most valuable tool right here. Notice anytime there's an arrow, you can click down and then more information falls out of that box. So this is where you'll look to see, have you hit your quick start? That's selling 500 in your first 15 days. That's your first goal that you should be focused on. Have you hit your jump start, which is selling 750 in your first 60 days? And then of course there's the Power Seller Award, and you can look further and see how you can earn by sponsoring, by promoting, and it just walks you through everything really, really basically. And as you start to achieve these things, these little things will light up, and there'll be little tracking bars, and you'll find yourself probably getting pretty obsessed with it very quickly. So from there, this is the Keepers Club. This is how you can keep track of how you've earned our Keepers Club. So because you're a brand new designer, you already get your samples at 50% off. That's why that's lit up. You have not yet earned your $250 Keepers Club pass. So if you qualify, as it says here, which is sell 300 at least in each month of the first of the quarter, January, February, and March, then you will earn $250 in product credit that you have to pay $50 for, that you can spend on whatever the new line is when you get that. So I would say a minimal goal for you as a new designer would be to at least qualify every single month so that you can get that free, well, not free, that $250 worth of product credit for $50, so that you can buy those new products without it having to come out of your pocket. And it's a pretty easy goal. That's basically one design session a month. So I think that's a good place to start. You can also achieve that by selling 2,000 PQV over that time period total. So maybe you have 2 bad months and a really, really good month where you sell 2,000, then you would still achieve it. So that's a fun little thing to keep track of. Of course, this is where you would find your earnings. That updates automatically pretty every 3 hours or so. So you can find your personal earnings, you can find your coaching, commissions, bonus, all of that's listed in here. And we do get paid weekly, but you'll see your coaching commissions only come out at the end. So as you build a team, your bigger paycheck is at the end, but you will get paid weekly on your Keep card, your orange card, which should be on its way to you. And you'll be able to log into the portal, which is it didn't show you that, but you can log into the portal under one of those original tabs that we were talking about. So those are all of your earnings. And then of course, here's where your sales would be listed. That's your PQV sales, same thing. We won't go into the Star bonus quite yet because we just need to focus on the easy stuff. And then, of course, this is one of my favorites. So this is your career progress. Right now, you're a designer, but this little box will show you, if you're interested in promoting, what you need to promote. So in this case, if Kim wanted to promote to lead designer, Kim knows that she would need to sell at least $300 herself this month, and then she would need at least one other person on her team to do the same, to sell $300 or to qualify. And then she would promote to lead designer. If she was curious what she had to do to promote to associate designer, all she has to do is click associate. Now she knows she needs to sell at least 750. Her whole team together needs to sell at least 2,000, and she needs at least one qualified leg. So like I said, you can hit associate designer with just one other person on your team, and each of you selling 1,000, or somebody selling you selling 1,500 and her selling 500. And it's pretty easy to do. Well, it's not easy to do, but it can be done. So that is a fun little box to keep track of. And then these are more if you've got a team and you're working on, this shows you if you've sponsored anybody, but those are kind of the key things. So let's go back to our PowerPoint and we'll keep on moving now that you know your way around the lounge a little bit. I would say take some time now that we've walked through that to click through some things so you can dig a little deeper, but now you know the basics. And this is just a quick review of the Jumpstart rewards. You've got your 50% off on your products because you're a new designer. You can earn your quick start bonus. Again, this is where I said you guys need to focus. I would say, I always encourage all my new designers, just focus on hitting that first goal of selling $500 in your first 15 days so that you can get that added extra product credit, which is even extra amount of product credit if you signed up in the month of January. So this is a goal you don't want to pass up. And it's not that difficult to do. It's one design session. It's your launch design session if it goes well. They don't always, we'll talk about that later. Or it's a lot of personal outreach if you don't think you can get that design session booked. But I would say get that design session booked in the next 2 weeks if you can. Then of course you can earn your Jumpstart bonus in the first 60 days by selling 750 PQV. And then your Power Seller bonus, if you could sell 3,000 PQV in your Jumpstart, then you get an added bonus for that too. So there's lots and lots of ways to earn in your Jumpstart, to earn product credits and even cash bonuses. And a lot of those ways start to go away once you're out of your Jumpstart. So I would say if you can put as much as you can into your business now in the first 60 days to really get it started off strong, it's just only going to help you as you come out of your Jumpstart. Then you'll have all kinds of product credits. You may even have a designer or two on your team. You've earned extra cash for all these bonuses, and you're just really set up to succeed. So it may require a little more work in the beginning months than what you expect in terms of hours or than what you thought, but it is worth it to put in that time, trust me, now, so that it'll kind of even out in the end. I won't go into much about this, but this is our comp plan. And the only thing really that you need to know now, you need to know that it exists and you can use this. I use this tool a lot as I'm working on my own promotions and helping my team members hit their promotions. But for you as a new designer, I would say just know up here, your weekly commission is you get 25% off of everything that you sell. And then there's Power Seller bonuses where if you sell, if you sell 1,500 in a month, then you give yourself a 5% raise. So now you're not making 25% off of your whole commission. You're making 30% off of everything that you sell for the whole month, even if you only hit 15 at the very end. If you sell 3,000, then you get 7% more. If you sell 6,000, then you get 10% more. So just selling more basically helps you earn more. And then of course, the best way to earn more is to build a team. And that's where this middle part comes in. And you can see as you hit these requirements, you then begin to earn off of the people below you. You earn percentages off of your first line, which is the people that are directly under you. And then as you promote here now as a senior designer, you earn a percentage off your first line and you earn a percentage off the people that are under them. And then as you go further and further up the line, you earn more and more percentages. And that's really how you can increase your salary if that's a goal of yours. keep in mind, often when people see this, they say, oh, that's the whole pyramid scheme. And I want to clarify in case you guys ever get this question. The way our business is run is actually not a pyramid scheme at all. Pyramid schemes, or, what people often refer to, are types of businesses is it's typically when you've got, inventory on hand, you're required to purchase a bunch of inventory and then keep it on hand. And then sometimes that can lead to trouble. But we're actually not allowed to do that. So that's one thing. And then also keep in mind that you're not taking money from people down below you. The company is paying you a percentage of what they make. They're paying you to coach those team members. And so I am getting paid a percentage so that I can help you, which is why one of the reasons why this is my job. I'm getting paid to do this training, which is so fun. But anyway, that's just a good thing to kind of keep in mind in case you ever get those questions from people. So now what? Okay, we got the basics. We know how the hub works. Now, how do we do this? How do we hit these goals? This is it. It's really simple. You want to book 4 design sessions in the first 4 weeks in 4 different circles. And that's going to help you build your business off to a successful start. So think about some of your friends. Obviously, one of them is yours, your own personal design session, but think about your friends and family and try to get into 4 different groups. So you're not doing 2 with all your soccer friends, but you're doing 1 with your soccer friends and 1 with your school mom friends and 1 with your church mom friends and 1 with your single mom friends or whatever, so that you're getting into those different groups. And then once you get into those groups, then you can book design sessions from those design sessions. And it just, with some work, it just continues to evolve. So 4 design sessions in 4 weeks in 4 different circles. And then this, my friends, is the secret to success. It's really, really simple. Prospect, sell, grow. Reach out to people, share, keep, and then your team will grow. How do you do that? Well, it's really, really, really simple. You just reach out to 2 people every single day. If you reach out to 2 people every single day, then that will result in 1 to 2 design sessions per week and 1 to 2 new designers per month. When we first start, we actually call this 2242. It's kind of the formula that we use, but this is a little bit of a simpler version of it. You may hear people still talking about 2242, but basically it's just reaching out to those 2 new people. When we first started talking about this and they started training us about this, I was very skeptical and I thought, no way, that doesn't work. So I did a little science experiment. I took my calendar and I wrote I reached out to 2 people every single day consistently, never missed a day, 2 people, not more, not less. And sure enough, I booked actually probably 3, I think it was 3 design sessions, and I did bring on 2 new designers that month. And I hit my power seller $1,500 sales goal and probably more that month. So it does work, and it's just a nice, consistent, easy way to get in the habit of sharing your business. So you're not freaking out at the end of the month because you don't have anything booked and you haven't hit your goal. You're just reaching out to 2 people every day. And so I'll talk a little bit more about reaching out here soon, but it's just that personal contact with people, and it's reaching out via phone or via Facebook or via text or whatever it is, but it's being personal and being genuine and doing it consistently. So let's talk about what's odd and what's normal. You don't know any of that, right? Because you're brand new. So I want to kind of give you an idea of some things to expect. So first of all, it'd be odd if everyone that you reached out to said yes. Let's say you reach out to 10 people. You send Facebook messages to 10 people today, sharing your new business, creating a custom design for them on the design tool that you know they'll love, and asking them to host a design session. 8 of them or 9 of them will probably say no or just ignore you. 1 of them will say yes. Keep that in mind. 1 out of every 10. You're going to hear a lot of no's or you're going to get ignored. Don't let it faze you. Just keep reaching out. I hear that. I get ignored and no's all the time. I don't take it personally. It doesn't bother me at all. As a matter of fact, when I get a no, I celebrate because I know that's getting me that much closer to my yes. So I wouldn't say that you should worry about that at all. Just stay positive and keep reaching out and being personal and being genuine, and expect that you're not always going to hear back from everybody and you're not always going to get a resounding yes. It'd be odd if your hostess agreed to do everything that you wanted her to do, right? We have to guide our hostesses, whether an in-person design session or online, to help them have the best design session that they can have, but there's only so much that you can do. And she's not always going to do everything that you tell her to do, so be prepared for that. It would be odd if you had a thriving business just selling to your family and friends. Let's say that you started a VIP Facebook group, a group where all your, you put all your friends in there, and that's all you did was post on your Facebook group, and you would expect to have a successful business that way. Not going to happen. This business is based on connecting, and it's based on those in-person and online design sessions. And so if you're going to be successful, that's something you absolutely have to do. Having a VIP group for your best customers to share with them all the ins and outs of what's going on with Keep and new designs and sales and all of that is a great idea. But don't count on that as your only form of doing business. It'd be odd if online design sessions were as successful as in-person. So be prepared for that. I coach my new designers and you to book as many in-person design sessions as you can. As a matter of fact, I'd focus on in-person the best I can, because on average, we have statistics that show you're going to make more off of an in-person design session than you will off of an online. I try to book at least 2, if not 3 in-person design sessions each month. And then I do to hit my goal. My goal is always to hit Power Seller at least every month, 1,500. And then I try to do at least 4 to 5 online design sessions. In my onlines, of that 5, I might have one that does really well. Maybe it does 800. Then I might have one that does 500, and I might have 2 that do 0, which is not that abnormal. You're going to have times where you'll have a design session that does nothing. So you just have to kind of plan for that and know that there's going to be good design sessions and bad design sessions, and good months and harder months. And you just have to kind of roll with the punches and stay positive and don't quit and keep doing your outreach and just stay as consistent as you can. So once you kind of reach out past those 4 people, the 4 close, design sessions that you booked from the very beginning, then you really need to start building your who do you know list. And this, you can search for this document, just put who do you know in the hub, type it in the search, and it'll come up. And you can fill this out and really start thinking, like, this is something that we as designers that have been doing this for a while are constantly doing. We're always recreating our who do you know list and adding to it and keeping track of it and making sure that we know who that we contacted. And so this is just a great tool that you can use to make sure that you're really reaching out to people. When you feel as if you've tapped out your people, your close people, then you need to start getting outside of your network. How do you do that? One of my favorite ways is to talk to strangers. Seriously, I've probably told every Uber driver I've ever been in the car about Keep, people who are working retail sales, the post office lady that I mail all my stuff through, she's already bought from me. Everybody, right? And I always wear it, and I always share it openly and genuinely. And people are like, oh, but I'm so worried about being salesy or pushy. You're not going to come off salesy or pushy if you're just being genuine and open about it. Like it only comes off pushy if you're like, you want to buy this? Instead, someone compliments you and you can just say, oh yeah, this is actually Keep Collective. I just started my own business where I get to design these for people. I'd love to create something for you. Maybe I'll go home and do that tonight, and I'll send you a little message with a photo. It's really, really simple. So make sure you talk to everyone and be prepared when you run into people. I always keep my business cards, of course, and design guides, or the little mini postcards. I like to do design guides, but if you're, trying to be on a tight budget and not use too many of those design guides, you can do the mini postcards. Keep those with you. Make sure you either put a label on them or attach your business card to them and share them with people. When they ask about Keep, just hand them out like candy. And another little trick that I learned, which is great, is if you put a Post-it note on it, then when you hand it to that person, you can ask them for their email address or maybe their cell phone number, and then keep the Post-it note, hand them the design guide, and now you have a way to get back to them, because oftentimes they'll run off with it and you don't hear from them again, but that's a way to get back to them. Ask for referrals from people you know. Ask them, do they know people who might be interested in Keep or hosting a design session? And then, of course, vendor events and holiday fairs are a great tool to expand your network. And there'll be lots of trainings about that later on too. All right, so now what do we do? How do we book those design sessions? Well, it's really, really simple. 3 steps. 1, build awareness. Here's where you're just generating knowledge. If you're brand new, you need to send out an email or whatever your best form of communication is, a post on Facebook, whatever it is, and let people know that you started your new business and genuinely share with them why. I think that the personal outreach is the best. So start building that awareness by sharing your business. You can go ahead and create that VIP page if you want. You can just share Keep on your personal feeds if you want. Everyone does it different ways. But just start building that awareness. And then step 2 is to officially warm them up, is what we call. So those are those 2 outreaches that you should be doing every day. That's you warming them up. That's you creating a custom design or finding a photo of an image of a design that they would love and sharing it with them. And we'll go over some words to say here in just a second. And then the 3rd step is that personal follow-up. Really the best way once you've warmed them up is to call them and say, hey, did you see that design that I sent you? What'd you think of it? Or if you see them in person. If you don't have their cell phone number, then follow up with them however you sent to them, Facebook Messenger or whatever it was. And just see what they thought about it. And then we'll go over in the words to say what you can do, which is here. So you'll often hear us talking about words to say. These, there's no shortage of these anywhere. You'll find them in the hub. You'll find them on our team pages. You can go into any one of our team pages. There's a ton on my team page. And I'm sure there is. If you're not on mine, then they're on others. And just type in words to say and tons of stuff will pop up. But basically you want to say something like, hi, Tiffany, what did you think about the keepsake I designed for you? There are millions of options I love to create. It'd be fun to do a design session for you and your friends. You can earn keepsakes for free just by hosting. Maybe after work, happy hour, mimosas and muffins on Sunday. Here are the dates that I have. So you're following up with a message like that from the warm up within 48 hours. You're confident and you are genuine and you're personal. And then you offer her dates that are pretty close, within 2 weeks of when you're talking to her so that you can book in. We call it book in type. So that's just an example of some of the words that you could use to say in the follow-up that you should do. Once you get that design session booked, hostess coaching is key. We will probably have you can find a hostess coaching training on this, but here are the key points that I think are important to remember as you are hostess coaching, getting your hostesses ready to host. Encourage them to invite 40 guests. If they do, then probably about 10 will attend. Hopefully you'll have to work towards 3 outside orders and then 2 future bookings, and you might get 1 prospective designer out of that. So that's kind of a fun little formula that tends to be pretty close to being on target. And then make sure that before the design session, you encourage your hostess, whether online or in person, to create a wish list, and make sure you get her a hostess packet. That can look like the photo that you see there. It can have design guides in it. It can have some invitations in it. Invitations you can do in multiple different ways, but many of us use an app called Red Stamp. You can download that app and there's actually set keep designs in there, and you can create them digitally, and then you can have them printed and sent, or you can just download the image, and I download the image and just text them to my hostesses who use them to text to their friends. So that's a great little app and a tool that you can use for invitations. And then at an in-person design session, make sure, of course, you're wearing keep, but make sure the hostess is wearing keep as well, even if she has to borrow something from you. And make sure you've got that design tool pulled up so that you can help people create and design, especially if you're new and your kit is kind of small and you don't have a lot of stuff to play with. The design tool is just a great option to create exactly what people want to see. And then at an online design session, of course, you have to hostess coach just as much. My successful online design sessions are successful because the hostess is super engaged. When she's not, they don't go very well at all. So I always coach my hostesses to make sure that they're giving the design session TLC, as we call it. So tag, like, comment. Encourage her to tag, like, comment on every post. She wants to tag people in posts that make sense, like every post, comment on posts, and that just increases the engagement. And if more people are engaged on the post, then it shows up in more people's feeds, whether you do it as an event or a group. Lots of people do it different ways. I do mine as groups, but you can do them in other ways. I would also suggest that you encourage your hostess to invite people personally via Facebook Messenger first, instead of just mass adding them to groups, because that just doesn't usually go so well. And then after the design session, collect orders and, of course, send a personal thank you note. So now what? I love to share this. I always encourage new designers to bring along a friend. This business is super fun, and it's even more fun if you do it with somebody that you know, and even better if it's somebody that you really like. So think about anyone in your life right now that could use Keep. A sister, a best friend, whatever, someone that you can just call up and say, hey, do this with me. So the photo that you see there is actually one of my best friends, Nicolina Alves. When I started Keep a little over 2.5 years ago, I was probably a month in, and I knew she would be perfect for this, except for she had a brand new baby and was going through some personal stuff. And I knew the timing wasn't quite right, but on one hand, but on the other hand, I knew that it was right. So I called her and I said, you got to do this. And she did it. And she's been hugely successful. She's an associate director now and has built a great team. And Keep has brought more to her life than even I imagined. So if you've got somebody, don't be afraid to just call them up, especially if they're close, and be like, do this with me. Because now we get to see each other all the time and travel together. And there's so much that you can get out of it, right? If you sell 750 and together you and your friends sell 2,000 and you promote to associate designer, you are making way more money. You can earn $350 to $500 a month in cash, just as being, that's an average for an associate designer. You get a $100 cash bonus when you promote. Your designer gets a $100 when she promotes, and you get access to monthly leader calls, and you get that cute little charm down there at the bottom, the associate designer charm. So it's totally doable in your first 60 days, and I think a great goal for you to set. And it just makes the business a little bit more fun. So quick little chart that kind of shows you the difference between what it looks like when you sponsor and when you don't sponsor. So designer A is not a sponsor, has not built her team, and designer B has. They both sell the same amount on average over a 6-month period, around 1,700. Designer A didn't sponsor any people over a 6-month period, and designer B sponsored one person a month. Each of their retail commissions are about the same, like the commission that they make. So of course that's going to be the same. But designer B, because she sponsored 6 people and all of them did well, she promoted to star. So she's getting coaching commissions at the star level, and she made $6,000 when designer A only made $2,700. So you can really see your salaries increase as you begin to build a team. So I won't get too far into this, but there are some of you out there I know that love to travel and love a getaway, and that might have been part of the reason why you signed up for Keep. So we just started a new earning period for our latest and greatest glam getaway, which will be in the beginning of March in 2018 in Cabo, Mexico. And so you're really starting with us. Like you're not any worse off than we are in terms of the amount of time that you have to earn. And you can see the details here, but I'll just say that when they launched our very first glam trip that we took 2 years ago, I thought, no way, I can't do that. I'm not on the top 10. Like I'm not a super power seller. I won't be able to earn. But you know what I did? I was consistent and I sponsored, and those got me through. And I earned the first trip, and I even earned the second trip. So this actually is really doable. It's an all expenses paid trip, and it just takes consistency, and it does take some sponsoring because you can earn points off of people that you sponsor. So if this is something that you're interested in, it kind of spikes, gets your mind going, then talk to your mentor about creating a plan or your upline director, and really think about setting this as a goal. And finally, see you at Hoopla. I know you're probably thinking like, what's Hoopla? So Hoopla is our annual sales event conference that happens every summer. This year it's going to be the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there really aren't a lot of words that I can use it's hard to describe Hoopla. It is an incredible, amazing event that is filled with inspiration and connection and learning. And if you're sitting there thinking, Hoopla is not for me, I'm not going to really build this business, I'm not going to have a team, I don't want to be a leader, Hoopla is for you, because there's training for everyone from the brand new designer that has no one on their team to high level leaders. And not only is there training and inspiration, but it's just fun, and it's an excuse to just get away and be with your tribe. And quickly you will find that it's a pretty amazing tribe. So if you even tiny bit think about Hoopla, know that the early bird registration ends at the end of the month. We're going to be doing lots of stuff on our team pages to promote and share more about Hoopla, to answer questions and encourage people to attend. But it really is a great event. And not only that, but it's been proven that those who attend Hoopla experience a boost in their business afterwards, of course, because they're learning and they're motivated and excited. So think about going to Hoopla, because we would love to see some new faces there. So now what? This is it. Training's over. What do I do? That was a lot of information. I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed. Okay, this is it. That's all you gotta remember. Just get started and don't quit. Start small. Make sure that you book your own design session and set the date and start inviting people to come. Then work towards booking those other 3 design sessions. It's as simple as that, right? You want to stay focused on hitting that quick start goal, $500 in the first 15 days. And then of course your jump start goal, $750 in the first 60 days. So that's really, really simple. And then of course, be authentic and personal with your outreach. I've mentioned it a lot of times, and I think it's really the key to success. And in the end, really just spread happiness. This business is so much about being happy. And if you find yourself not being happy, then figure out what it is that's bothering you and work towards making yourself happy and having that positive outlook. And just doing what you love. There's so much to love about our Keep business that if you focus on those things, I think you'll find yourself having way more fun than you expected. So thank you for joining this new designer training. I'm so excited for you and the start of your business, and know that your mentor should be a great resource for you, and you are not alone. You are on my team page or on another team page within Shiny Bits of Happiness. Feel free to reach out to me or anyone else, really, and you will see that we are all here to support each other and help each other. And it is a wonderful, wonderful group of women. So welcome to Keep Collective. Congratulations on making what I think is probably one of the best decisions you've ever made. And good luck and have fun with this business.